In this video, I want to go over a graphing example of the tangent function. Let's graph y equals tangent 2x minus pi. The first thing I need to do is factor my inside stuff. So y equals tangent. I'm going to pull out a 2, and then I'll be left with x minus pi over 2. Now I'm ready to begin the 4-step process. So, step 1. The first thing I need to find is the vertical stretch factor. Again, that's the absolute value of a. I don't have a number out front of tan, so that means it's just a 1. So absolute value of 1 is 1. Next, I need to find the period. Again, the period for the tangent function is pi over b. My b value is 2, so my period is pi over 2 for this example. Next, I need to calculate my phase shift. Again, that is the c value. In my problem, I see I have minus 2, so that means it's a shift to the right. Also, pi over 2. And last but not least, I have my vertical shift. I don't see anything adding or subtracting out here on the outside of the function, so vertical shift 0, it's not moving up or down. Step 2. Step 2 is to find my vertical asymptotes of my tangent graph. Again, the rule is take my inside stuff and set it equal to negative pi over 2 and positive pi over 2. So inside stuff was 2 times x minus pi over 2, and I'm going to set that equal to negative pi over 2. And then I need to repeat and set it equal to positive pi over 2. And from here, I'm just going to solve. I'm going to get rid of the outside 2 first by dividing. And here, I would have a keep change flip scenario. So negative pi over 2 times 1 over 2. So I'm going to get x minus pi over 2 equals negative pi over 4. And over here, I'm going to get x minus pi over 2 equals positive pi over 4. There you go, so you can see the math. All right, from here, I need to add pi over 2 to the other side. And personal preference when dealing with fractions, I like to write it horizontally. So I'm going to rewrite negative pi over 4 plus pi over 2 and positive pi over 4 plus pi over 2. And now I see I need a common denominator, which is going to be 4. So if I multiply the bottom by 2, I need to multiply the top by 2. And here I will have pi over 4. And over here I will have 3 pi over 4. So these are my 2 vertical asymptotes, and I'll call this the left VA and the right VA, so I know when I go and graph. All right, step 2 is complete. Next, step 3. Again, step 3 is to find my 5 key points. First thing I need to do is 1/4 times the period. So that's 1/4. Sorry, I already forgot. Scroll up. My period was pi over 2 for this problem. So 1/4 times pi over 2. And I'm at pi over 8. Alrighty, so to begin with, I start with my left VA as my first key point from step 2. So I have pi over 4. And then add to it my pi over 8. Alrighty, so that was my first key point. Again, I need common denominator. Common denominator will be 8. So if I multiply the bottom by 2, I need to multiply the top by 2. And so here I'm going to get 3 pi over 8, key point number 2. Add pi over 8 again, and I'm at 4 pi over 8. Add pi over 8 again, I'm at 5 pi over 8. And I need one more point, plus pi over 8 one more time, and I'm at 6 pi over 8. You notice I kept the 8 for a common denominator for simplifying, but remember 6 pi over 8, that reduces to 3 pi over 4. So let's go back and see, does this match what I got in step 2? And it does, right? My right VA and my last key point need to match up. All right, so those are my key points, and now I'm ready to put the puzzle pieces together in step 4. So in step 4, I need to do my XY chart. Okay. So I had pi over 4, 3 pi over 8, 4 pi over 8, 5 pi over 8, and 6 pi over 8. Again, you can reduce these if you want at this point. Sometimes I don't, depending on the original function. Sometimes it's helpful to keep that denominator, but just make sure at the end when you finally do graph that you do go ahead and reduce those fractions. So remember, pi over 4 is your left VA, so I don't need to do any calculation there. And 6 pi over 8 was my right VA, so I only need to calculate the 3 middle terms. So again, let me scroll up. My original function was tan 2x minus pi over 2. So I've, tan 2x minus pi over 2 as my function. So I need to plug in 3 pi over 8. So 3 pi over 8 minus pi over 2. Then I need some common denominator again. Common denominator 8. If I multiply the bottom by 4, I need to multiply the top by 4. That's going to give me tangent 2, 3 pi, oh, let me do the math, sorry. That is 8 on the bottom, 3 minus 4, so I got negative pi over 8. There we go. Then I can go ahead and reduce, multiplying by 2. That's going to change to 4, and so I have tangent negative pi over 4. Well, tangent of negative pi over 4, remember tangent is y over x, and this is going to give you negative 1. So negative 1 there. All right, plugging in 4 pi over 8 next. So tangent to 4 pi over 8 minus pi over 2. Again, looks like I'm going to need common denominator. Common denominator 8. This guy is 4. I'm going to get tangent 2 times 0. So that's tangent of 0. And tangent of 0 is 0. And one more with 5 pi over 8. So tangent 2 times 5 pi over 8 minus pi over 2. Again, common denominator 8. This time I have tan 2 times pi over 8. Multiplying by 2, that's going to reduce, and I'm going to have tangent pi over 4. And tangent pi over 4, back in quadrant 1, is 1. Positive 1 there. Good, and then we're almost complete. Now we just need to graph our coordinates. So let's see what this is gonna look like. Again, this is just graphing one cycle. My x-coordinates were pi over 4, 3 pi over 8, had 4 pi over 8, so I can just say pi over 2. I had 5 pi over 8 next, and 6 pi over 8, which was 3 pi over 4 reduced. Alrighty. Again, I have my left VA at pi over 4, and I had my right VA at 3 pi over 4. And then I have positive 1 and negative 1. So at 3 pi over 8, I was at negative 1. At pi over 2, I was at 0. And 5 pi over 8, I was at positive 1. And then we can draw our function. And the problem is now complete.